So, guys, in case you didn't know, we're back on Terms and Conditions podcast. Melody and Excel have gone haywire. Melody has left us for the streets. Excel is still stuck in Akwa Ibom, so blame everybody. But here, I have an eminent personality. So please introduce yourself to our audience.
Well, my name is Congressman Bimbo Daramola. I'm just like another Nigerian. Your guy next door.
Well, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I'm from Ekiti State. They contested for the gubernatorial race, I think about 4 years ago.
Exactly.
In my state, yeah.
Exactly.
We're quite famous in my state. I have a lot of fans.
Well, I gave it my best. When I had the opportunity of representing them, I had a job to do, and I gave it my best. And I think our reputation speaks for us, modestly speaking.
Yeah. One of my uncles is one of your followers.
Who's that?
I don't want to mention this podcast yet.
Well, I'll give you a very short example. One of these kids people, came to Abuja.
Yeah.
And we had this meeting, and I said, and she's a mom.
Yeah.
Is from my constituency. Yeah. So, and the way these celebrities are very difficult to deal with. All apologies to our friends, the skit makers, but then a whole lot. That's one of the biggest challenges on this job. Yeah. So we're gisting and then having a nice dinner. I said, "Where are you from?" And then gist went to the point that she said her mom, is from Ekiti. And I said, "So where in Ekiti exactly?" She mentioned the name of that town. I said, "That's your town. That's your mom's town."
What town is it?
I said, "No, I won't tell you." So I said, this was about 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I said, "Your mom is from that town." He said, "Yes." "Your mom is from that town." I said, "Okay. Call your mom now." And then she said, "I should call my mom." I said, "Call your mom now." And then she called her mom, and I said, "Tell your mom that Bimbo Daramola is sitting with you." And then she said, "Mom, Yakale, Okunin come and be by honey Bimbo Daramola. Honorable me."
I mean, but how does it feel to be adulated by a lot of people like that?
It's very humbling. It's humbling, and that's why I try to do everything I do. It's not even showboating. It's not because I want to be famous. It's not because I want anything. Honestly, I just want to be able to do. One thing humbles me the most.
Oh.
Someday we're going to knock off, and then what's it? So I just feel that do whatever you can, Jerry, for anybody. And I've had reasons to do what Americans call noble causes, good works.
Yeah.
And people come back to say, "Oh, thank you." And I said, why do you bother? I honestly mean it. I don't think you should bother. One thing I love the most is just being around good people, positive vibes, and all of that. That's why I like Dami so much.
Dami is a madman. In case you don't know who we are talking about, I'm talking about Coco Piquet.
So, the energy is good, and every time I have the chance to be around people like that, I just want to be myself and then be happy. That's all.
Yeah. What were you doing before you got into politics, though?
Oh yes. Okay, fine. I've done a number of things. I have a first degree in geology, and then I went on to do MBA in University of Ilorin, Masters in Business Administration, specializing in marketing. Then I worked for Savannah Bank so many years ago. It's gone discrepit now. Yeah. And then I was in Kaduna Water Surveys, where I was busy siting boreholes in 400 villages.
How did you go from studying marketing and banking to do that?
Multitasking. So.
But how did you find that opportunity? That's what I'm.
Okay, fine. This was how it happened actually. When I finished, I got posted to Kaduna State, and then I got retained 4 months into my youth service because of what we were able to do with geophysics in that place. And then after like 2 years, and then that crisis broke in Kaduna. The Zangon Kataf crisis broke, and then I had to come down south. So my uncle used to work he was executive director of Savannah Bank. And I said, tell him to come in. I told my mom that I should come in for an appraiser. They used to call it appraiser in those days. So I went there, and I saw on the back of the door that I went through, no vacancy.
Wow.
And I walked through a no vacancy door to pick a vacancy.
That's Nigeria in a nutshell.
But Savannah Bank at the time would not give you a job if you've not earned it. So they drilled me, and I remember that the name of the man was a very good-looking man from Kogi and Ibraman, Mr. Umeri. I remember him like today, sitting in that chair, wearing navy blue suit, drop dead gorgeous.
A man is drunk.
I'm telling you, that guy, Mr. Omeza, that used to be his name. So I was drilled and then asked all these questions. So I got the job.
Yeah.
And then after 1 year, something now told me, one hunch just told me, oh boy, if they kick your uncle out of this place, you're gone. So I said, okay, let me go get something that, in humanities and then leave sciences. So I went off to University of Ilorin to do masters in business administration so I can clean up my sciences and then fit to the bank. And then after a while, June 12 crisis, and I kicked up the job and I started working for myself. Yes, sir.
Your own business?
Yes. I mean, I did a whole lot of stuff, campaigns, marketing. I did stuff for Gold Circle. No pun intended.
This is I like that. No pun intended.
So I did stuff for Gold Circle. I did stuff for Sazembro. I did stuff for the Gold Circle one was shortly after Fela died.
Oh.
And the Gold Circle wanted to push condoms like crazy.
Yeah.
And then and of course Fela died of AIDS, and then
please note that, Abeg.
So Fela died of AIDS, and at that point in time, it was catching on, and everybody felt, Gold Circle felt, oh, okay, fine, we need to do this about that. So they gave me this campaign to do, and I wrote them a proposal of what to do, that we're going to carry a coffin on Third Mainland.
Wow.
And in a funeral procession. And then we did that, and then at some point when I was pitching, the guy now said, this is a morbid campaign. And I said, isn't death morbid?
Oh, that's the entire point of death.
Yeah, so I said, death is morbid as well. So why shouldn't we use the morbid representation for something that is that graphically morbid?
That must have been wild.
Right. So I got the job. Guess how much I was paid? 750,000 for all of that.
Just
but I made good money though. It was
long term.
Yeah, I mean, one I did a couple of campaigns for them thereafter, but this other one, money was good at the time. Money was
750,000 at the time.
That was a lot of money. That was a lot of money. In fact, from nothing, I was handling for the account, but I think it belonged to. I'm not sure if it was Insight or.
Man, shout out to Insight.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was Insight or this guy in Surulere. I've forgotten now. Tall,
Laulog.
Yeah.
Is that Kimumi?
Yeah, I don't know, but Prima Garnet or something like that.
I have an idea of what you're talking about.
So that was it. And then with Sazembro, it was a fight between Gulda and Sazembro. And Gulda used to be my brand in those days.
Oh.
I don't want to advertise the product. So we're drinking up somewhere. The guy who used to head the Attorney General of Lagos State. I've forgotten again his name now. And then there used to be a place on Obafemolo where you used to go drink and all of that. So the guy now said, this campaign about this struggle between Gulda and Sazembro, and that they were so these brand people now came to that place because the place at that time was called Tulsa.
Yeah.
So and then they saw me, and then we got introduced, and I said, can we break the back of Gulda? And then we said we'll try, but we did our best. But it turned out that Shine Bobo, that
that bro,
it couldn't crack. Gulda is a resilient brand, very resilient.
It's
brand.
still here for whatever reason. Changed the bottle,
did everything.
But certain brand had a run at some point.
No. Yeah, I mean,
because it was cheap.
Yes, it was cheap. They deployed a couple of strategies. Pricing was right. The product was good.
But it was smaller.
It was smaller. And then penetration was the problem.
Yeah.
Gulda seemed to have carved out a niche for itself, as a brand, and it became a behemoth to go to. So we tried. The penetration at some point, we're doing activations here and there. It did well, but I guess Guinness just felt, man, we can't push this too hard. So they let it go.
God damn. How did you go from there to showbiz though?
Well, I'm not in
like it's closely related, right? It's not like banking.
Yeah.
It's still the creative industry.
Yeah,
by extension.
Very true.
Right?
Well, it's not about wanting to go into entertainment. Okay, fine. Maybe entertainment of some sort. And I remember this now. When Magic Fashek was raining.
That's Magic Fashek.
Yeah. And then anytime he sang, Send on the Rain, the rain came pouring. So I wanted to promote him, and then we had a show for Southwest at the time. A couple of universities, OAU, IFE, UI, and then one or two other universities wanted to take that. And so I hooked up to a promoter, and then we're working on that stuff. And they told me some details that I said, no, I can't do this. And so I let it go. It's not about wanting to get into entertainment. This particular one that we want to now is just because I want to give expression to what I think is right and all of that.
So in case you guys didn't know, or you guys don't know, this eminent personality beside
Don't
me
call me eminent. I'm just your guy next door.
Is the person that led quote unquote the delegation of Nigerian skit makers to the vice president. That caused an uproar. Did people even know that you were the one that did that?
I am not too sure, but a few people do, but not the whole of the guys on the blog sites and all of those things. I'm not too sure they do. And I would have wanted to stay in the background, but you see, there's nothing I do that I don't apply myself to. Yeah, I mean, if I like it so much and I believe in what I'm doing, I'm going to put my face behind it.
Did it make you feel bad though?
Yes, it did. At some point, and Damien here will tell you, it keeps priming me and propping me. I wanted to back down and say, what's it? One, doesn't have prospects of money for me, and that I can explain. It doesn't have prospect of, I'm not even looking for fame, I'm not chasing clout. So what is it? I just love young people. That's my Momo button. And, so I see a young set of people who are doing so well. And guess what? They're doing so well in spite and despite the fact that the nation just leaves you to grind and nobody cares about whether you pull through in life and all of those things. And these are real pictures. For every young man who succeeds, there are probably 1,000 others. So they've lifted themselves from shoestrings and bootstraps to be able to get to where they are today. And I feel this is not the max that we can get. So I said, okay, maybe because I enjoy skits a lot. Yeah. I've not seen a movie, proper movie in a while. And then these guys have not allowed me to fill the void. So I just keep asking myself, what can we give back to a group of people who have not only discovered their talents, but they are creative in doing that. They've had a determination to it, some passion, some grit, some resilience. Because Nigeria takes you down sometimes, the battle is really hot. And these guys have broken all of those, limitations and restraints to be able to get to this point. And I said, fine, we can do much more with them and for them. And then I just feel that, okay, fine. So I called a few friends of mine. I said, this is what I'm thinking. And then,
what was the thing that you were thinking? The skits awards?
No, it wasn't awards per se. It was like they deserve more recognition. And then, thank you for this question. And I said to myself, and I want to be put on record for this. I don't think it's right to call them internet sensation. People call them that. I think this is very derogatory. They call them influencers and they call them content creators and all of that. I said I agree with the content creator part of it. I agree with the influencing part of that description. But internet sensation, to the best of my knowledge, sensation is fleeting.
Yeah, it is white.
So, and then you call somebody who's got talent, who hacks, who does all of those things without going through the four walls of the university, of any institution, or getting trained. And he's been able to hold down 2.3 million people. In the case of Charles Okocha. Charles Okocha, okay, maybe that's not a perfect example because it's also an actor. But a Tao, for instance, having 2.8 million people, a Wuli Agba having 4 point something. So, first and foremost, let us give credit to them, the fact that they have some talent, and then they brushed up the talent, added some creativity to it, some determination, some passion, some grit, some resilience. And then here we are today. If the Entertainment Board of Nigeria used to be this size, those guys have taken it this far. Without help from anywhere. So I feel that we can do a little bit more. Let's recognize them appropriately and institutionalize that recognition, and then move from there to reward them, and then move from there to be able to leverage on that to get some inspiration for people coming and even for the guys who are. So that's what I wanted to do. And I felt that something like an award would be the small key to open the big doors. As we progressively went along on that road, I discovered that we could also do a little bit more. I know that some of them are still working off their fingers, using their mobile devices and all of that. So I said, okay, fine. Why don't we institute an industry support scheme for them, Because everybody won't beat Macaroni in one night. Macaroni don't even become Macaroni in one night. Yeah. And I told Tao one day, Tao, you didn't become Tao in one night. And so this door of opportunity that you guys have paid for others, please, let's be able to support them to be able to do that. And the only way we can do that is to be able to give them that level of recognition where people are comfortable in their skin to say, once you ask, what is your name? And he says, my name is Lagbaja and all that. What do you do? I make skits. I'm a skit maker. You know, so those are the things we're thinking. And we had 3 other things that we wanted to do. We felt that, like Cannes Festival, we felt that we could have a skits festival, which will also get many more people to do it and all of that. And then we also felt that we got Netflix for movies. We will have skit flicks for skits. And all of these things to be able to get people to the point where they're confident and comfortable to say, this is what I do, not looking for validation in Nollywood or in music industry. That's what we're trying to do.
Did you have a relationship with some of those people beforehand?
No, I don't. Well, maybe 2 or 3 of them who had asked me for support at different times, and we'll be able to avail that support. But how much can that be? So many of them still walk off their phones trying to shoot some of these things that we enjoy. It logically follows that if you support them, the creativity is there, the talent is there. If it logically supports them, that he doesn't want to have to worry about the pixels of his camera, and he knows that he's shooting a professional camera, there are chances that he's going to give you better skits and good production, and more people are going to follow him, and he can earn more money. I think that's a good thing to do, and that's why we said we're going to do this.
So I'm going to ask 2 questions from things you said.
Okay,
so the number 1 question is, all of these things will help the ecosystem.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
But how does it help the individual skit makers themselves?
Okay. Right. One of the first things that you want to apply yourself to is the fact that they thrive on followership. How many people are following you? How many people are watching your movies? How many people are watching your skits? I met these 2 young guys in Ibadan the other day when I went for Woli Agba's daughter naming ceremony, and then I think the names Nepa boys, Kamo and Ozain, and they said to me that even when they do their production in Yoruba, you understand, by the end of the week, at the turn of the week, they have 1 million views. To the extent that, what's her name now? Jennifer Fokakindele is going to feature them in her forthcoming movies. So I said to them that, do you guys connect the nexus to be able to realize that there must be value that you guys have for Funke Akindele in Lekki to invite you guys out of Ibadan to come out? So the nexus is that if we put all of this together, the recognition to get a reward and then the inspiration, they will shoot better movies. And then the institutional support that we're trying to provide for them gives them the comfort to say, okay, now that I know that my skill can take me to anywhere, they're in a position to sit back and do good jobs, better jobs, which would mean that the more the followership that they get, the more the resources, the more the revenue that streams that to them from Facebook, Instagram, whatever it is. But that's not even my cookie. My cookie is that if you do well, chances are that you can get a corporate to adopt you to be an ambassador. You can get government to give you opportunity to advertise, to be a part of high-neck campaigns, to be a part of NOA campaigns. And you drop something, 12 million people are seeing it, 1 million people are seeing it. You don't even get that on NTA right there on the go. So I believe that these are the things I raised with Vice President Osinbajo. And for some reason, he went into a tailspin.
But do you understand why a lot of young people had problems with that, though?
Well, I guess from when I recovered, from that heat, I could connect, I could relate with it. 1, people don't trust government anymore.
Facts.
That's number 1. Number 2, the narration that went out, it had a lot of misrepresentation. And then, of course, the misrepresentation informed misinterpretation. And then misinterpretation also informed misconceptions and all of that. So when you find somebody who says that I went to the villa today and I spoke about Allstars, that wasn't the true gist. And I'm happy. Let me first of all, now at this point, I appreciate the fact that you're giving me this platform to be able to talk about this. Because I first read this from Paul's, and you guys have good reputation anyways. We feel that we owe it to people to clean this mess up. We have an obligation to everybody in the mix, and I'm going to share that in a bit, to be able to say, no, you got it all wrong. For instance, one of the blog sites said, association, do you know that skit makers now have an association? heck, where is that coming from?
But do you feel that maybe beforehand, like sometimes we learn from things, right?
Yes, sir.
Do you feel like beforehand, maybe there could have been like some sort of groundwork? Like in hindsight now, do you feel like maybe you should have laid groundwork in terms of like PR work to make people know that something is coming? Because a lot of people were oblivious to what you are doing that took them to the vice president. Do you, in hindsight, do you think you should have done a lot more groundwork to let the public understand?
Well, again, I don't know how much of groundwork you want me to do, but we didn't just start yesterday. That wasn't the first thing that we did.
What'd you say? We're good. Okay. What? Wow. Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, I don't know how much of groundwork you are expecting expecting us to have done, but we've done quite a bit. This didn't start yesterday. It started like 5 months ago. Over this period of time, we met all sorts of people. Oni of Ife had endorsed it. Obagbola Oniru had endorsed it. Dino Melaye had posted it on his page. Shina Pella had posted it on the page. We met a number of industry people, Lasisi Eleno, MC Lively, Woli Agba, Tauma herself, Brain Jota, Kamo. All of these characters, we've met them before. And so we've been doing it. It's been, work in progress. And it's going to be unfortunate to be able to see. I mean, we practically can't cover Nigeria at one time. And the thing about Nigeria is that if it's not dirty, it doesn't click.
Yeah.
So now that everybody's talking about Skita Wasuka, the truth of the matter was that we started way back. If you go on the pages, on our social media pages.
Yeah, I've seen some.
Now over this period of time, Governor Sanwo-Olu had endorsed it, which led to him visiting Hainena to celebrate his birthday with him. So we've been doing all of these things, but people just didn't want to see it and all of that. So we've done all of that. I just felt that we must be able to get this point, two things. One of the challenges or the things at the back of the minds of young people today is the fact that nobody cares about us. Like that Michael Jackson song.
It's not unfounded though. It's not exactly unfounded.
That's going to be a seminal topic to be able to talk about. Yeah. But that's not very true.
Why do you think so?
Right. Do you know the young people are they've took their responsibility under westernization or social media influence to feel that anything can pass. Where is diligence? How many people are still do you know that social media has capacity to transform lives positively?
It is.
Yes, but how many people use social media for education and enlightenment and not just entertainment?
I get what you mean, sir.
Right.
I get what you mean in the sense that there's to every positive thing, there's a negative. I'm one of this. So a lot of people like to think that all young people are leftists, liberals. I don't think I'm very liberal. I think I'm more center liberal. Does that make sense? Center left, like Americans would say. So I would say that social media has a lot of negatives in the sense that it creates an unnecessary attachment. It releases the concept of likes and retweets and comments and interactions has negative connotations. For example, the CEO of Twitter last year went on a podcast and said, we might have created Twitter with different intentions in mind, but we couldn't predict how people were going to use it. That's why they were, some time ago, they were trying to hide the like button. They were discussing it. They were proposing it. And that's why now Facebook is trying to protect language, because they discovered that young people, it's affecting their mental health. It's affecting the things that they think is right and wrong, because people are seeing fake life and projecting it to be real life. All those things are very prevalent in there. But in terms of like young people not believing that people have their back, it comes from the fact that we have essentially a leadership that has shown time and time again that it doesn't care. Like, maybe it does care, but the way it's projected itself and presented itself is not showing that it does care.
Okay, I'll give you. Let's come back to this issue.
Yeah.
Okay. How does it make you feel that you have all of this huge followership?
Yeah.
And then you're busy putting things out every day. You're clenching fists at Lekki, Tollgate, and all of those things. Do you think the resolution will actually come out from the Tollgate?
But without it, young people wouldn't have been heard.
That's not very true. We undermine the fact. Listen, we mystify politicians.
True.
Young people,
I agree.
Young people mystify politicians.
There's an extremism to how we perceive politicians.
No. You see, the point is that again, it's rubbing off on me where people say, after all, he's a politician. He wants to use, and then people have an impression, maybe a mindset to think that once you're a politician, you can't just be good. You must be bad.
Yeah.
Have you forgotten that there are bad doctors, there are bad journalists, there are bad skill makers? So we all have all of those in equal measures.
Yeah.
But you see, because a politician is in your face, and terribly so, because we don't handle it too nicely here. You're poor today, you get in a position, you're wealthy, you throw power around in an obscene same, and all of those things.
Yeah.
But let me say to you that what a politician fears next to poison is the population that could swing against him at the next elections. How did I get into all these things?
Yeah.
I just felt that, one, I'm a conviction-driven person.
I know.
If I want to do something, I won't back down until it's done, except this one that I just felt that, what's the point? If you mystify politics, politics is easy. Listen, it's assumed that the building blocks of politics will start from the polling unit.
True.
How many of the guys at Lekki toll gate have been to their polling units or having a card to be able to vote or not flipping channels on the day of elections? Don't tell me that results won't count.
No, here's the thing. So I like to think from the perspective of causation when I examine things, not just from the results or from the consequences. So when I think about them, I like to look at the perspective of how people get to a result or the conviction. As much as it's an irresponsible idea to not fulfill your civic responsibility of voting or even trying to vote or owning at least a voter's card, some of the things that got us here were things that made people lose faith in elections in the first place.
Like what?
Rigging.
Okay, fine. I just turned 54.
Yes.
All right.
Happy birthday, sir.
Thank you. Now, do you know that growing up, I never knew that there was a mobilization that anybody should go and collect voter's card. Never. Never. I never saw all these things about go and collect your PVC, go and do this. Never happened. Quote me, go and check. People just saw that, yes, Awolowo, this was what Awolowo represented. 4 cardinal points. Integrated Greek science, free school, free health, free this.
True.
And then we saw the tangibility of the hope that Awolowo gave to us, and everybody just queued.
We saw results.
Yes. Now, today, we've come to a point where we have thrown everything to the winds, and we feel that, after all, they will rig it now. After all, my vote
it's
won't
not
count
exactly
now.
unfounded.
That's not correct. Okay, fine. Let me give you a very, very graphic example. Lekki toll gate, for all of the period that those guys were there, and in the sun, in the rain, dealing with all of those things, they probably would have chalked up about maybe 10, 15,000, 20,000 people. Yes? If 15,000 people out of the 10,000 or out of the 20,000 naira who showed up in Lekki had voted, Banki would have been in the House of Reps today.
That's not wrong.
So take responsibility.
That's not wrong.
Right. So take
I don't disagree.
So people should take responsibility.
Maybe numbers wise, I like the overall idea of what you are presenting is not wrong. Okay. Maybe by virtue of the numbers, I might not have been able to change the election.
Okay, let me tell you.
Let
me tell you this. People were encouraged and to be defiant, to stay right and defy bullets. We've done that before. They shot at me point blank like that. All because of school fees. I remember, let me give you this gist. This was in 1985. This was in 1985. We used to have our vice chancellor at the time was called Professor Feda Oladapo. And then they increased the tuition by 50 naira or 100 naira or something. And then we went to town, and the street thing I said was, Oladapo Shemi, Oladapo has offended me. I want to revenge. And my father called me when they smoked me out. When I got back home, tear gas, everything. And he called me, Bimbo, did I say I couldn't pay? They said, Kini Esheti Oladapo She to Fegbeson. Listen, we need to raise a generation of people I like the conviction of Macaroni. I like that so well. I like the conviction of all the young people who are streaming to the public space every day, putting things on Twitter, but we can do a little bit more. There's no voting center on the social media.
We're like next election, it's going to get better as people try to, like the election in Anambra State, for example, the election in Edo, like all these elections are going to get people, bring faith back into these things.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is, it's not unfounded that people lost faith in the electoral process. It is not unfounded.
You know, there's the beauty of numbers.
True.
So marketers, numbers.
But we have been suppressed. Like the voice of people were suppressed at Tollgate. It was.
Okay, why didn't they suppress the voice of people in Anambra?
Again, the faith might be swinging back. Those things are going to give people faith.
But
there have been instances over the years where it has been proven that votes are not going to. For example, even if the votes, we go out to vote and we know the person that we voted for, and then maybe when the elections come, the results come out, it turns out that the person that we voted for didn't win. There's nothing we can do about it.
There's something you can do about it.
What?
Let me tell you. In 2000, I started running for election in 2007.
Yeah.
I ran for the House of Representatives in 2007 for the first time. Okay.
All
right. They rigged me out. The party rigged me out.
You said rigging.
Yeah, I'm admitting to some of the things you're saying.
Yeah.
Did I give up?
No.
Yeah. Now, in 2009, when Dr. Yemi was trying to get in for the first time, I'd never seen a group of people so mobilized like that since Awolowo died. We had the poster, rig and roast. Rig and roast.
The one that Fire Me, the Chegun lost to Fire Me.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
rig and roast.
Yeah, that was a lot.
And our eyes were blazing like this.
Yeah.
Ekiti people said no.
Yeah.
We reduced the votes coming out of a town called Oye from 18,000 to 3,000 votes.
I remember.
That's the level of engagement that can save people. And then you need to get the young people to get on the boat to be able to say no. Every energy that they gave to end SARS, but they can do a little bit much. Give that to the electoral process. Politicians are liver people. I swear to God, I know horse. I know. Listen. 10 of you going to meet your House of Representatives and say, "Oh God, come." It will probably shove money into your hand, say, carry the money, stone the man with the money, and say, "Oh God, please look at this now. Oh God, look at this now. Oh God, look at this now. You put consistency projects, we're not saying it. Oh God, we don't agree." I swear to God, the guy is going to call you back. What do you do? I swear to Almighty God.
I get what you mean. But let's get back to this issue at hand. Macaroni, do you disagree with the thing you tweeted?
Yes. First and foremost is my brother. I mean, we've been talking. Very, very high personality. Incidentally, what we're doing today also has some level of history to Macaroni at some point.
Oh, how?
Yes. A friend of mine, I don't know if I've said it before, a friend of mine whose wife, who just turned 50, and the wife was going to, celebrate him and all of that. So said, let's put up a surprise party for my husband. And I said, good enough. And then we started planning and all of those things. And so when the woman now said, the present I want for my husband was to be able to get his favorite skit artist to come. Because what the husband loves the most when he comes back from the office will be to take off his shirt, take off his tie. This is a very successful medical doctor. The person I'm talking about, very successful medical doctor.
Your friend?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very, very rich and solid. Young man, 50. And then the wife said, Macaroni is his favorite. And then things were done. They just brought Macaroni to the party. It was a surprise party. He had been brought into the venue blindfolded, and then he greeted people and all of that and sat down. And then 10 minutes later, Macaroni had been mic'd up outside, and just everybody say hi, and everybody looked at it. It was Macaroni. Mr. Freaky. That was the night that it occurred to me that I'm not the only one that likes these skits. Then we can do a little bit more. That was it. I have the picture. So when we eventually had to meet, I sent it. He said, and all of that. So we started like that, and I've been trying to track him, one or two, some high traditional ruler, one of the highest in this country, got us talking and all of those things. But we've not been able to, get him to do the interview and all of those things. But this is the thing. The industry is bigger than Macaroni. That's one. Number two, in my own mind, or to my own mind, I believe that the fame and fortune that the guy has today as a result of God-given talent should not also be confused with activism. it's good. His interpretation of his activism is to say that I want to give back. This is the society that has made me. I cannot.
But that's who he's always been, though.
That's what I'm saying. And that's fantastic. I tick all the boxes for him. Fantastic that you're championing a cause. There's using your platform
to champion
a cause. There's nothing that can be better. And that's one of the things I'm doing here. I'm using who I am, my platform, to also crusade. I am not just having an award. This is not about an award for what. I am using this as a crusade for young people who are willing to become another Macaroni tomorrow, next year. I want to be able to get to the point where they can say to themselves that if I work this hard, granted the talent that I have, and follow the trajectory of a man like Macaroni, I can also be great like him. But guess what? Every authority that you have comes with a responsibility. The fact that Macaroni is one of the leaders in this industry is some form of authority that comes with that position. The level of responsibility I'm expecting in my own mind is to say, okay, what is the broader picture of what we're trying to do? What does it make what does it mean if we institutionalize recognition for our field? After all, this is what our forebears have done for Nollywood. This is what they've done for music. Why don't we do the same thing for skits? You understand? Without that, won't take 1 inch or ounce out of his activism. There are so many people who feel and totally agree with him, but the truth of the matter is that there's a job to do. There's a livelihood to be able to protect. And so I will feel that it's a delicate balance, but I will encourage my brother Debo to be able to, I told him, I invited him. And again, when he said that
he didn't know that there was an association.
There's no association. We don't represent an association. This is not an association. This is Nigeria's Kids Industry Awards. That doesn't equate association, for God's sake. So when he said he declined an invitation, it wasn't an invitation. It wasn't the vice president didn't invite anybody. The vice president didn't invite anybody. I sought the audience, one, to be able to elevate the profile of the industry and the personalities therein, and then to be able to say, okay, fine, where medical doctors could get to, where politicians could get to, where these people can get to, we as young people making skits also can get there, because the national value that we get as a nation,
it's product, actually.
Yes, is a product of everybody doing what they know how to do best. I don't believe that a Tony Elumelu should be ranked higher. He may have all the money, but in terms of contribution, okay, tangible and quantifiable, yes, I believe that a skit maker is also doing the same thing, making us the therapeutic effect, the job creation. For instance, Wole Agba told me that from the skits that he produces, 32 people, eat their livelihood from there. Likewise, Macaroni would know the number of people who he feeds and all of that. Likewise, Tawa and all of these people. So that obligation is there. But the VP didn't invite anybody. I sent out the invites, and he said, "Egbon, I would not like to meet the VP." And I said, "That's fine."
How many people went with you to the place?
About 10, thereabout. About 8, thereabout 8. Yes. And I want to salute the guys who, in retrospect today, that they could come out to speak truth to power, because they came on the auspices of Nigerian Skits Industry Awards, but they also used the opportunity to also speak truth to power right within the portals, the vortex of power. They did that. I mean, Taoma spoke about Twitter bans, spoke about Allstars, spoke about Ainana spoke about education, George Tufoni spoke about something, very critical things. And in the State House release, it was also captured that the youth spoke about XYZ, and the vice president, duty bound, respected them and spoke to them. And then this thing about, and I think we should stop typecasting.
Okay.
Anybody who goes to the villa is compromised. It's not correct.
I agree in the sense that the way some of us fight, we fight in the sense that it's to the exclusion of every other person, and nothing gets achieved that way. So there was a time that Jay-Z was fighting. It was in a meeting with the NFL in America, and black people, African Americans, were mad because Colin Kaepernick was out of a job. But the thing is, if you really want to, you can't disrupt something from outside of the thing. I agree to the sense of you can really disrupt from inside. I agree.
Thank you.
But I also understand the fact that young people are saying, a lot of people that are going there appear to be only be going there because they want to interface with power for selfish reasons. Do you understand that?
Well, I also,
or the emotions behind that.
Yeah, you see, when emotions run riot, then reason takes a flight.
True.
Yes.
But here's the thing: a lot of people didn't even know the idea. Like, I agree with you. People, we have knee-jerk reactions on social media.
Yes.
People don't even want to know.
Yeah.
The moment people are seeing people,
Yeah.
they are reacting. The first thing is to react because people don't trust the government, like you were saying the other time, and a lot of things. But what I'm saying is exactly it's not funny. People are going to say there are a bunch of things that we can talk to the government about. People don't want to look at that. They don't want to look at the growing an industry. It's secondary to them. People are looking at primary things that we could affect immediately. People are going to say, oh, YouTube and TikTok are giving grants to creators. Why is the government not looking at some of those things? Like, people are saying, okay, there's a Twitter ban. People are saying there are jobs to talk about. There are things to talk about. They're going to say this thing is secondary to them. So even when they hear about it, they might not exactly believe in it as they should, because sentiment might be involved, but some of the things might be right.
Well, you see, I also believe that the young people shouldn't go to the end of the spectrum thinking that
True.
there's one way solution to this.
True.
Right. Lekki has done well.
True.
Lekki has done well. Lekki has put people on the spot. Lekki has showed that there's a will to do things and all of those things, but we can do all that. We can also get a few things into the matrix of the resolution.
True.
Let's imagine that we have a challenge, and then we decide to say, okay, there are 4 quadrants. One of the quadrants is continue to demonstrate and protest at Lekki, and then leave the other quadrants blank. We're not going to achieve results.
No, we're not.
So you're going to fill this quadrant of continue the agitation, keep the agitation going.
It should be to come back to the table.
Then go to the other quadrant, and go to the other quadrant, and go to the other quadrant. It's when you put all the quadrants together that you can be too sure you can get results. I don't think we should also feel that
we can do it ourselves.
Yes. You know, one of the things we used to say in those days when I was back then in the university was that we should quit agonizing and then start organizing. One of the things you can do with organization is to say, okay, we can review strategies. How far did we come with this? How far did we come with this? What can we do better? Listen, it would have been nice for a Macaroni to have been there to say, oh, okay, I got there and the VP offered me a bribe. I said no. Wouldn't that be nice?
It would have been good for social clicks, but it wouldn't have helped anybody.
No. But then that would have taken down a whole lot of stuff. It would have changed. It would have been seismic. It would have been a tectonic thing.
Yeah.
Right. But going there and say, Mr. Vice President, yes, we came here today to talk about our industry because this industry matters. This industry that has given us fame and fortune. We are duty-bound and obligated to protect and preserve it, not only for ourselves and to preserve the means that we've gotten out of this, but for people who are coming after us. That's one of the reasons why we're here. But in addition to that, it's also killing us to know that Twitter is still on ban. That would have been very well. But you see, when you shut your doors in the face of discussions, talking and all of those things, left to me, that was the lowest point, or one of the lowest points I could ever get to in the course of trying to do this, particularly when I know that I don't have any pecuniary motivation or any private thing driving me.
I get why you might feel slighted by it, to be honest.
No, well, I mean, because I also understand.
Yeah. You know? You also understand the emotions of the young people. And a lot of people also feel like we've been talking for a long time. We talk a lot.
Why did God give us mouth? God didn't give us mouth for a season.
True.
God didn't give us a mouth to come and worship Him Sunday alone, and then when you get to church, when you get out of church on Monday, keep your mouth shut. Yeah. You got to keep talking. I mean, you just got to speak. I mean, you must keep, and that's the sign that you're alive anyway. Dead people don't talk.
Dead man tell no tales.
No, don't tell tales.
Let's talk about this idea and the product that you're creating.
Oh, okay, this one.
Yeah, do you think this should give birth to like an association, and should it be called skit makers association? A lot of them they're arguing that we are not skit makers, we are thespians. That was part of what Macaroni said.
Okay, did being an actor make him famous? In Nollywood today, Macaroni won't rank 300, number 300.
He's still an actor though.
Agreed. Before being an actor, he's got creative talent. He's got talent. He founded the talent and he could swing either way. And that kind of guy must be respected. One of the things you put before the vice president is that Now we don't want recognitions going to people when they are 80 and all of that. You go and give MFR or CON to a Zebudaya.
Someone that is dying and doesn't have money.
Why do you do that? You practically had the guy walked in on crutches or something to go and get a national award that he had spent his life working for. And said, so, give them the award when they are flight-footed. That was one of the things you put before the vice president. Now, don't wait till they become Zebudaya, 40 years old, and somebody had to wheel them up to the president to decorate them. No! This is the time, because these guys have succeeded in spite and despite all of us. And so they've earned it. All of the politicians that are getting these awards, they practically haven't done as much as some of these guys have done in tangible terms. They make us happy. NCC only just... And guess what? Sometimes you don't know what you're doing when you're doing it.
Facts.
Right. When we started this, when that crisis came up, somebody sent something to me from African Polling Institute. Please Google it, API, African Polling Institute. And they had started talking about skit economy. Because if a Woli Agba, for instance, has 32 people that he's paying, Tao practically maybe has 20, and all of those, and you can imagine the kind of money that is going through. And then NCC said the data that Nigerians consume is traceable to the outburst of skit makers and all of that. So, now we talk about employment, we talk about being a strategic link to boosting the telecom sector and all these other things that they do, the therapeutic effect to make us feel better when we're grounded and all of those things. So I believe very strongly that recognition in the form and format that we have proposed now can only make the things better. And then I remember at some point in this country when we were known for our football.
We are still known for the football.
Right, yeah, but then there was a time, Amokachi or Kocha, and then Nigeria was being called the footballing nation, okay? So you take that. And then, if you go to most places now, 2 weeks ago, I was in Zambia on another project, and then, incidentally, I came from Zambia that same day, I drove straight to the villa, Every club I went to, from Chicago's to Buffalo's in Zambia, they were jamming, slamming David, music, slamming Wheezy, slamming all of these characters.
Yeah.
What makes you feel that we cannot tick the boxes kids too?
We can.
So,
but what's the goal of, number one, two questions in one. What's the goal of Nigeria Skit Awards?
Yeah.
Nigeria Skit Industry Awards, aside from recognition.
Yeah.
And what's the goal in relation to the meeting or the outreach to the vice president?
Oh, okay, fine. Let me start from the last one and come forward. The meeting or the taking the skits or taking skits to the vice president. Let me put it like that.
Yeah.
Taking skits to the vice president, first and foremost, is situated in the context of the fact that the vice president, by his own admission, said he's a lover of skits.
Nigerian parents love skits.
He said, specifically, he talked about Lasisi Elenu.
Yeah.
Lasisi Elenu cracks him up, and all of that. So, if you take who you company with, determines who comes to you. So I believe that these young people should be able to also, lawyers go to the villa anyway. Every other person goes to the villa. So it would be nice enough to be able to have that psychological, that we are not limited. We're not seen as, we're seen for who we are as, people who have value and then who can add value to this country. The totality of our identity as a nation should also have a place for skits that we produce and who we are. That's number one. Then coming to the second one, which was about recognition. No, not just about recognition. I said it a while back. I said, you see, there's the feeling that I have that why wouldn't the banks, for instance, sign on any of these guys?
The brands?
The huge brands. Why wouldn't they do
some
that?
Some of them are getting
less than 4.
True.
Why should that be?
We have a problem in this country of diversification of points of interest.
True.
People don't know how to look beyond one thing. So, but when they start looking at them, they are going to then saturate that space again. That's what happens in this country. Most of them are not looking at it. They are looking at it because these guys are making a hell of a lot of money.
Yes, they should
be making a hell of a lot of money.
Just a few of them yet. Listen, my brother, it's not even about the money they're making now.
Yeah. It's about what they could make.
What they could make, and the fact that, you see, Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs.
Yeah. Shout out to Maslow.
When you get the basics are, I'm looking for money. When you get to the tip of the triangle, you're looking for esteem.
Yeah.
This is awards give esteem.
Yeah.
And esteem cannot be bought.
Recognition.
That's
That's why people fight for
Yes,
awards.
that's why people fight for awards. When people say, "Oh, give it to him," you have conquered money, and most likely they will continue to conquer money. But the point is that we need to take them to the point where their lives and what they do will be inspiration to so many others, and many people will walk their path.
But in terms of like this relationship, how then do we create a sustainable idea around them? Say laws, say how to put this thing in a way that we could structure an industry for them. We could create like infrastructures. We create, maybe you were talking about skit flicks the other time, but in terms of like money, like available money for a lot of people, when the skit flicks comes, how many people are going to have access to it? How does it work? How much money at the end of the day, because it comes down to money, the amount of money that I can make. How does it ensure that the littlest guy can eat? How?
Okay, first and foremost, why the movie industry as successful, as well known as it is today, why do they have Netflix?
They have Netflix for a number of reasons. Piracy is a problem. Internet penetration is on the rise. Young people are populating the internet. And as a matter of fact, one of the reasons is revenue. But at the same time, streaming is not exactly the healthiest, but it does something to people.
Every other thing that you have said except one applies to these skit makers. So why don't you give that opportunity? It's a space. It's a digital space. The room for skits that was empty has been filled now. We're saying that they should get away from the ground floor and take the master bedroom upstairs as well.
It could be a ground. If it's done properly, it could do something. If it's
for
done
me, I don't intend to. I'm not chasing clout. Like I said before, I don't need followership. I don't need anybody following me, and I say that very humbly because this is not political. It's not anything. I'm just saying that I love these guys. I love what they're doing, and I feel that they can do a little bit more. I mean, grateful people should be able to show the kind of impact that they have in their lives and all of that. So, looking at whether they have an association or whether they don't have an association, it's not my business. It's not my kettle of fish. All I want is to have institutional structure around what they do that helps their psychology and tangibly manifest in what they do, so that people can, at the end of the day, a few things will happen. Hubert Ogunde is long gone now.
Shout out to Ogunde.
Right now, but you know that you can't deny the fact that yes,
that's great.
Afolayan, what's his name? Kunle Afolayan's father.
Yeah.
What's his name now? Adelove, long gone now. But you can't deny that. These are the kind of things that people must begin to talk about that makes you feel. 3 of his children. Yes. Ogabelu.
Yeah.
So I want people to be able to get in 20 years, where will Macaroni as a brand be? So it should also be able to come to the point where Tahoma of 20 years ago, we've also raised these people. Lasisi Eleno. And guess what? The dynamic way of getting different characterizations is what I do understand. I will feel that, okay, these guys have exhausted all the characterizations that are available. And then somebody will come about.
Yeah.
When I thought, I've seen it all in Tao and the characterization of a very stiff mom wanting to keep a child in track and all of those things, I all of a sudden will see somebody else. And then I will see this person. I mean, I was talking about some guy called MC Remote in Ibadan.
Yeah.
I said, where did this one come from again? He will just come to your door like this and just pa. Ẹ̀pẹ̀lẹ́nu mọ́tò yìí o, Ọlọ́run ló rán mi sí yín. Tó bá dé Ọlọ́run ìdẹ́ẹ̀dẹ́ rán mi sí yín. Tó bá ti rán mi sí yín, confirm ni, legit ni. And I'm asking, where are they getting all of these things from?
Because from real life.
That's all.
It's from real life.
They're relatable.
Yeah, they're relatable.
So because they are relatable, there must be, and it looks very small, but go and check what South Africa is doing with Trevor Noah.
Yeah, Trevor Noah, but Trevor Noah is one person.
It's one person, but there are a number. Again, in the entire world.
How it could affect the ecosystem.
Yes, in the entire world. I'm doing that research right now. I'm not too sure of any country that has as many skit makers, either cross or real, right there, as many as Nigeria.
I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure.
TikTok might have given a lot of people a vocation right now, but in terms of like people that sit together to craft ideas and short films.
Yes.
I'm not sure.
Can you imagine somebody who started just on a device like that, and today has a production crew, employs people,
and they're making money from some of those.
Oh,
things.
yes.
Like they're shooting things for other people. They have production companies.
So why don't we just encourage that?
Proud of
Now you said something about government support and all of those things. I am aware that this administration, I'm not their voice pipe, so I don't know, but I know this one. I think they made 369 billion naira available post-COVID. Yeah. And that was accessed by people just only in Nollywood.
Top. There was one available for the music industry. I work in the music industry. Yeah. I didn't hear until 5-6 months ago. That's another thing that we have in this industry, in the creative industry.
Yeah.
We have the government out interfacing with the people that are perceived to have the ideas and don't know the people. But at the end of the day, when they collect some of this, it doesn't get to the depth of the industry.
It won't get there because the door is shut in their faces.
That's the problem.
No, that's not the problem. We're trying to take that veil down. That was why the access to the vice president was made available. The vice president from that meeting said, okay, when you guys are ready, get people from your side and get people from my office to begin to talk about how to do this. And that was the day I also found out that polling institute had already done that research about skit economy.
I mean, we have to wait and see what the result of this is. But in a way, I sort of understand the sentiment or the emotions behind what you go there. And I understand why you might be hurt, but I also hope you understand why the young people.
Oh, totally. Again, like I said, young people are my mumu button. Whether they kick my ass or they do whatever they want to do is okay. But you see, the point is that the fact that I had been young before. Yeah. You know, I mean, we're sporting grace now and all of those things. But the truth of the matter is that you can't take away my 18, 19, 20, 21, all the way to 35. You can't take that away. And I know what I did with those years of my life. So if you have energy to do stuff today, we've had energy, we've done stuff before. So I'm only saying that you can also benefit from the fact that I have seen a lot more than you are. I know the fact that if I have this opportunity, if I had the opportunity of reinventing the wheel and I have the opportunity of somebody walking me to the villa at 25 or 30 or 16 or 18 or 30, I know what to tell the vice president. I know, not for myself, particularly when I'm going under the auspices of my industry. I know what to tell him and I know what to get out of the villa with. I know how to get him to say, hey, guy, you can't do this anymore. That's one of the reasons why I feel that we must... only yesterday we were talking to... No, David, 2 days ago, we took this to Daniel Ramokachi and he flipped and he said, this is the best thing. This is how he actually described it. This is the Oscars of the
It could be product. It could really be product. Yeah. I mean, we need to unlock the power of awards. Awards are big.
Yeah.
Big business.
I think our people should be coming down small.
I mean, young people are angry and frustrated.
I know. I totally relate with that. You know what? I've been... And I want people to spot check that. I have been an advocate of the young people for a long time. I mean, if the country gets better for young people, it also gets better for me. You know, so we raise less criminals, we raise less deviants and all of those things. And we make this the vibrancy, the energy and all of those things will help a society that will move forward. You know, but this is not going to be like you just criticize. And Rassis Allen was telling us that he had different characterizations over time. He started out with Lasisi the ranter. He was always ranting and all of those things. And then he's moved on to something. What I'm saying is that put it in the quadrant and see whether every section of the quadrant, each and every one of them can add additional value.
Thank you for coming to our show. What would you like? What else? Do you want to mention your social media handles in case people want to follow at you?
Okay, it's not about me. I think it's the awards. Let's. I mean, for people who would like to know that NSIA Awards 2021. You know, and Naija Kids Awards, Facebook, Instagram, all of that. You know,
what are the handles?
It's the same thing. Just one like that. Just if you go to Twitter, Naija Kids Award, Facebook, Naija Kids Award, Instagram, Naija Kids Award. And I mean, I want to thank you very much for the opportunity.
No, thanks for coming through, sir.
All right, thank you so
much.
All right,
have a nice one, sir.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.